In a previous video, I briefly touched upon the fact that you shouldn't push an industrial through your ear if it's not going through smoothly or if you're getting a lot of pain. It shouldn't be forced through. And I never really elaborated on why, so I thought I'd do that now. Basically, I ended up re-piercing part of my ear accidentally. Now, I hadn't had mine done that long, and I decided that I wanted a new bar in it. I didn't want the plain silver bar anymore. And someone I know got me a gift of a bar that had kind of a tree symbol in the middle, the tree of life symbol, and leaves either side of it that are screwed on and off, and I absolutely loved it. So I decided I couldn't wait, and about a week after getting the bar, which was may have been around 3 months, I'm not entirely sure how long after getting the piercing I did it, but it was rather quick. I think it was literally just on the deadline of what is the minimum time you can change your industrial at. And I hadn't changed my industrial at any point before this. I wasn't really sure how to do it, so I got a member of my family to help me. I'm not going to name who it was for their sake, but yeah, I got a member of my family to help me to change out my old bar for my new one. So I took my old one out, which came out fairly easily. It was quite painful, which I'd say is a sign you shouldn't really be changing it yet, but it was quite painful and I was impatient. So I took my old one out, and then I asked for help getting the new one in. It managed to go through the top hole fairly easily, no problems. But then when it came to the bottom hole, it was hurting a lot to get it through. And in the end, it went through, quite a lot of pain, but it went through and I didn't question it. And it was throbbing quite a bit, it was sore, but I thought that's just because I've just changed it. If I leave it alone now, if I don't bother it, it'll be fine. So I left it and it kept getting worse. It did have like a day or two where it was fine, so I thought I've just irritated it again when it got annoyed after that. But it started getting more sore, and about a week later I was kind of lay on the floor of somebody else's house with my ear and half of my head in a bowl of salt water because it was in that much pain. I just needed something to soothe it, and I refused to take it out. I did not want to take it out. But after that, it was still throbbing. It didn't really help. And then someone just pointed out, "Oh, you've got a bit of a lump at the back of your ear." I'm like, "Oh, really? I can't feel anything." And they ended up taking a picture of it for me. I will insert that now, but I'll just warn you, it's not the nicest picture in the world. It was enough to make me think it was infected. It's not pretty. But I saw this picture and I thought, it's definitely infected. I shouldn't have changed it so fast. It is definitely infected. I ended up going back to the piercer because I thought that would be the best thing to do, which it turned out it was the best thing to do. So if you have any problems with your piercings, definitely go back to the person that pierced it for you. Don't just wait and think, I'll go away, it's fine. If you think it's infected, go back to the piercer. But yeah, I ended up going back to the people that originally pierced my ear and said, "Oh, I think it's infected, can you have a look at it for me?" And they ended up having a look, and she cleaned up the lump, which mainly consisted of blood. It looks like it's filled with like pus, and that was only like a slight amount of it. 99% of it was blood. So she cleaned it all up, and then she just said to me, "This looks like it's a hole. This doesn't look like an infection to me. It looks like it's a hole." And then the person that I took with me, they kind of showed it to them, and they were like, "Yeah, this doesn't look like it's a infection per se. It looks like there's a hole here." She kind of asked if I'd had any trouble pushing it through the last time I changed it, and I said, "Yeah, I had a slight problem. It was a bit painful." And basically, she explained to me that what I'd done is I'd made a new hole for myself, and the lump that you can see in the picture, that was the old hole trying to close up. So it had been a week and for a week this hole had been trying to close fully back up, which kind of proves that if you're having issues with your piercings, they don't magically go away when you take the piercing out, because it can also have trouble just healing up. It's not just a case of if your piercing's sore, it's going to stop being sore if you take the piercing out. That's not how it works. So either something had got into this hole that had caused it to become irritated, or I don't know. But all she did was she literally took the piercing out of the hole it wasn't meant to be in and re-put it back through the old hole. It was obviously a bit sore and had to stretch it a bit because it had been trying to heal up for a week, but she managed to push it through, and that's actually what it's in now. And I've had no problems since. Once it kind of settled down and stopped being sore, it's been fine. And I think I do have a slight mark. It's very small, you won't be able to see it, especially with the ball there, but I can feel it. There is a slight kind of scarring from where the new hole had been punched through. But other than that, I don't have any issues with it, with that. And it happened fairly early on the healing process, which is kind of lucky, but it definitely wasn't fun. Wasn't a fun thing to experience. Thank you for watching the video. There will be links somewhere on the screen. I'm not sure where because I change where they are every single time, but one will be to subscribe to the channel if you'd like, and then another will be to press onto another one of my videos if you want to. Bye!